Hello parents and students, this is a mini lesson on unitary method, mostly for parents. Unitary method is one of those things that we do in Singapore math that is a little bit confusing to parents because it's so different probably than what we learned in school. But when we solve problems using unitary method, our goal is to solve for one unit and then to use that unit to multiply for as many units as we need. So I'm going to run through a couple example problems here for you to see what I mean by that. Okay, so our first example says that there are 5/3 as many boys as girls. There are 20 more boys than girls. How many boys are in the group and how many girls are in the group? So first I want you to think about how you might solve that, and then I'm going to show you how we would solve that using the unitary method. All right, well that fraction right there gives me units for boys and girls. And so I'm going to set that up with the bar model. So I'm going to give boys 5 units, and I'm going to give girls 3 units. Now the second part of my problem says that there are 20 more boys than girls. So I'm going to assign that 20 extra to those 2 units. So obviously those 2 units have to equal 20. How many boys are in the group and how many girls are in the group? Well, you can, I'm sure, just see by looking at the bar model that each unit, of course, is going to equal 10, right? Because 2 units equal 20. So we could pretty much solve this without writing anything else down. But I want to show you what we teach the students, or how we teach the students to solve this using the unitary method. So we would say 2 units is 20, and remember our goal in unitary method is to first solve for 1 unit. So 1 unit equals 20 divided by 2, which equals 10. And then to use that unit to solve for the question. So first we're going to solve for boys. So they had 5 units, so 5 units equals 10 times 5, which equals 50 boys. And then we wanted to solve for girls. So girls have 3 units, which equals 10 times 3, which equals 30 girls. All right, easy enough, right? Okay, let's try another one. The ratio of the length of ribbon A to the length of ribbon B is 7:4. If ribbon A is 21 meters long, find the length of ribbon B. All right, let's start off with our bar model again. So ribbon A is 7 units. And ribbon B is 4 units. And let's see, it says that ribbon A is 21 meters long. And we want to know what the length of ribbon B is. Okay, so using the same method, I can see by looking at my bar model that 7 units is 21 meters. So that means that 1 unit is 21 divided by 7, which is 3 meters. Since I'm solving for B, I'm going to solve for 4 units. And that's going to equal 3 times 4, which equals 12 meters. So B is 12 meters long. Okay, go ahead and try this one on your own, then come back and check it. So Siti and Mary shared $35 in the ratio of 4:3. How much money did Siti receive? All right, starting off with our bar models again. Whoops. So there is the model for Siti and Mary. Now this time it says they shared $35. So the total of their units is going to equal 35. And then our question is, how much money did Siti receive? So this is what we're trying to solve for up here. Okay, so this time we have 7 units, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That equals $35. And you can see how helpful the bar modeling is in this. We could solve this just, almost by looking at it. After we get all that bar modeling set up and we get the right numbers assigned to the right number of units and our question mark, you can see why this would help your student visualize the math behind the word problem. Okay, 1 unit is going to equal 35 divided by 7, which equals $5. And then we want to solve for 4 units because that's how many units City has. So that's going to be 5 times 4, which equals $20. Okay, next one, example 4. The ratio of the weight of package X to package Y is 5 to 3. If the weight of package X is 40 kilograms, find the total weight of the 2 packages. Okay, one thing that I teach your students with these word problems is really to try to chunk up the word problem and only deal with one piece of information at a time. They can get kind of complicated for some students, and students can get overwhelmed with trying to figure out the whole thing instead of walking through it step by step. So let's just do that. So let's take this first piece of information. The ratio of the weight of package X to package Y is 5 to 3. Okay, let's deal with that and then stop there. So package X has 5, and package Y has 3 units. Now let's look at our next piece of information. If the weight of package X is 40 kilograms, and then we stop. If the weight of package X is 40 kilograms, it means we're going to assign all the units for package X to 40 kilograms. And then let's deal with the last piece, now the question, I guess. Find the total weight of the 2 packages. So this is what we want right here. Okay. So this time we have 5 units. We have 5 units equal to 40 kilogram. So let's solve for 1. 1 unit is going to be 40 divided by 5, which is going to be 8. And now we want to solve for all the units because we're finding the total weight. So we want to solve for 8 units. So 8 units is going to be 8 times 8, which is going to equal 64 kilograms. All right, now for the fun problem. Go ahead and try this problem on your own, and then come back and check it. Okay, let's see how you did. So Mrs. Juergens made some tarts. That actually never happened, but whatever. It's a math problem. She sold 3/5 of them in the morning and 1/4 of the remainder in the afternoon. If she sold 200 more tarts in the morning than in the afternoon, how many tarts did she make? All right, friends, let's model our tarts here. So we've got, and this is really more of a problem that might come out of our fractions unit, not out of our ratios unit, but we're going to use the same problem. The same method to solve it. So let's see, we've got the first problem, or the first tarts were sold in the morning and she sold 3/5 of them. So I've got to divide up my model into 5, don't I? She sold 3/5, so let's just kind of mark what she sold in the morning here. And then she sold 1/4 of the remainder in the afternoon. So I'm actually going to change the color on my ink really quick here. Okay, so if she sold 1/4 of the remainder in the afternoon, obviously I've got to be able to model that, right? So I'm going to divide those remaining units into fourths. So here's what she sold in the afternoon. We'll just label that with an A. So hopefully you recognize that this is, I can't just split up part of my bar model into different units. That just doesn't work. So since I split those up, I'm actually going to go over here. And what I'm doing right now is I'm basically finding an equivalent fraction. And I'm going to split up the rest of my model. Okay, so now instead of fifths, I have tenths. So now we can see that she sold all of this in the morning. And she sold this in the afternoon. Okay, it says if she sold 200 more tarts in the morning than afternoon, how many tarts did she make? So clearly, my 200, if she only sold 1 unit's worth in the afternoon, this number of units is what I'm going to equal to 200, or what I'm going to assign to 200. So I'm going to leave 1 unit out there because she did sell 1 unit in the afternoon, and our information tells us that she sold 200 more tarts in the morning. So obviously that 200 is going to be the difference in units between morning and afternoon. So now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units. That equals 200. 1 unit is going to be 200 divided by 5, which will equal 40. And my question is, how many tarts did she make total? So I want to solve for all of the units. So let's see, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I'm going to solve for 10 units. And of course that's going to be 40 times 10, which is going to be equal to 400. And my answer is 400 tarts. All right, I hope you enjoyed this little mini lesson in unitary method. I hope you're able to solve that problem. And that's it.